This is the plaintiff, Toshia Crystal. She says her landlord, the defendant, was negligent because there was a leak in her apartment and her furniture was ruined. For 45 days, he dragged his feet in making the necessary repairs. Her furniture was subjected to excessive moisture and her family heirlooms were ruined. She's here, suing for the $6,000 she's owed and hopes to teach the defendant a lesson. This is the defendant, George Shafazan. He says the plaintiff's been a tenant for about 5 years, and she's one of those people always looking to complain about something and is constantly trying to cook up a case against him. Once she alerted him there was a leak in her apartment, he responded immediately. The plaintiff, however, was super difficult to deal with. She lobbied all of the other tenants in the building to fight management, and he finally had to ask her to move out. Bottom line, the plaintiff refused to provide evidence of the damaged items in her apartment because he doesn't think there are any. He's accused of completely ignoring a tenant.
All parties, please raise your right hand. Be seated, come to order, please. Litigants have been sworn, Your Honor.
Thank you, Douglas.
You're welcome, ma'am.
Okay, Toshia Crystal.
Hi.
You're suing Happy Home Partnership, represented here by George Shavasand, for $6,000 that you say they owe you for harassment, wasting your time, and an antique dresser that got ruined. Talk to me. What happened?
Hi, good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
I am actually suing for $6,000 with the attempt for it to be more due to the incurred time and things that have.
Oh, so is it now $10,000?
Yes, and I do have the information for that later. But I basically stayed at the property now for about 5 years. The initial issue that I had was a leak that I reported in November of 2018. When this leak was reported in 2018, a couple of weeks later, maintenance was sent out. When maintenance was sent out to my unit, they cut a hole in my wall.
Okay, when did you report it? In January?
I reported the initial incident in November.
November. Mm-hmm. Do you have evidence of having reported it in November?
Yes.
May I see it?
Of course. Thank you.
Okay, November 22, it rained. I noticed a leak in the living room coming from the window. This is the same window that was replaced sometime in May 2017. Is that the same leak you're talking about in January?
Yes, that's when I reported.
So the leak's in the window?
It was leaking through the living room window.
Okay.
And traveling through the wall.
And that's the same leak we're talking about, sir, in January, right?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, so she does have an email to you folks telling you that, you know, there's a problem, and the email is dated November 26.
Well, we had previously fixed that area.
Okay.
So the first time I heard about it was when
So in November, did you fix it?
we entirely replaced the entire side of the wall.
Was that in November?
It was in May.
Right, and then she writes you in November saying, remember that window you replaced in May? It's leaking.
Right.
What did you guys do in November?
We sent out technicians to recaulk it and fix it.
So you did repair it in November?
Yeah, I have one.
And then your answer to that is what? That they didn't?
No, they did not. The hole remained until I moved. I have images of that as well.
Okay.
Yes.
So what happened? What's the bottom line here? According to you, you have an antique dresser that's been damaged, correct?
Yes.
And that's the bulk of your lawsuit. Your lawsuit, when you came in today, your lawsuit was $6,000. You can't just verbally amend it to 10 now.
No.
So we're talking about $6,000. But anyway, you value the antique dresser at $3,000. How is it that you value it at that?
So this dresser was passed down to me from my mother. I have obtained this dresser set since I was 16. It's the only dresser set that I've ever had since I've been living on my own. I've never had any issues with this dresser. This dresser has sustained, through time and duration, and it has stored my things sufficiently. I took the diligence, one, because this dresser was from a place called Levitt's Furniture that is not
Levitt's?
Around anymore. Yes.
We'll love it at Levitt's?
Yes. This is
I'd sing it. I really want to sing it.
This is an all-wood dresser. They don't make them anymore. When I went to research and look for a comparable dresser, there were none that came up exactly.
No offense, but Levitt's was known for discount prices. It's not exactly one of the more expensive furniture stores in.
Yeah, it was just
country.
the piece that I have is a nice quality piece.
Okay, but where you can't just pull a figure out of the sky.
Yes, the figures
What is
that
it you did? Just look at pictures of other wooden dressers?
No, what I did was diligently research online through a couple of different companies, and I have images.
Yes, I
of-
know. You took pictures of other wooden things and that were high quality and high cost. How are you going to prove what the value of your dresser was? Do you have a picture of your dresser?
Yes,
Okay.
I do.
So is this the dresser?
That's one of the dressers. This is a dresser set. Yes.
So where's the other dresser?
That's my dresser there.
Okay, so
And
how
that's
many
just-
dressers are we talking about?
We're
that are
talking about
ruined?
one that was damaged, but the set that was compromised.
Okay, do you have a picture of a damaged dresser? Because I'm looking at good
Yes.
dressers.
I have these images like accordion style so that you can
Okay.
check them all out.
It should be like a cartoon. Should I flip it? No. Okay, there's some darkness to the bottom of, and it looks like some mold.
Oh, and here's another set as well.
And then some of the mold came right off. That you're showing me right there. This probably needs a repair. Was anything else in your apartment damaged by the moisture of the leak besides this?
In 2017, yes. In this particular case, the dresser, I had a few other items like my bed skirt that was damaged, but the dresser was the bulk of the moisture. and
Okay.
wet
Did you
damage.
folks ever try to settle with her on this? Because my understanding is that you did, right?
We offered her $300.
You offered her $300 to relocate, right?
No, for damaged furniture and settle the case.
Okay, and then?
But she never replied. She said, my dresser is easily worth $2,000 or something like that. And then down the
According
road.
to you, you had to pay people to move you from the damaged apartment, correct?
Yes.
Do you have evidence of what you paid people?
Yes.
May I see it?
Yes.
Why would she not be entitled to the moving costs? Because you moved her
We
because...
paid her
Oh, what did you pay her?
$300. It's here.
Okay, so that's... And then you offered her a separate $300 for the furniture.
Yes, ma'am.
Is that
Yes, Your
accurate?
Honor.
No, that's not
Did
accurate.
they pay you anything for the move?
No. So if I
They
can...
give you a discount on the rent?
That's what... Yes.
Okay,
But
that's paying you for the move.
Yes, but I
Okay,
didn't
so you've been
find-
made whole for the move. Why are you suing for it?
I didn't find that out until...
Okay, that's fine. No worries. All right, so now what we're really talking about is the harassment and your time lost and the dresser. Let's put a pin in the dresser a moment, and let's talk to you about your time lost and the
Yes.
harassment. How did they harass you?
I have been harassed through a series of ways. I have been harassed not only by George over the phone and talking very rude and crazy to me, but I have numerous reports of improper notices that are posted to enter the unit. I'm being harassed about my vehicle. After even moving into the new unit, I basically started getting harassed by management with a 51-page lease. That was something completely new.
I'm sorry, they offered you a lease and you didn't want to sign it. That's harassment?
No, they didn't offer me a lease. I've been there for 5 years. I've had only one lease. I've never had to re-sign.
Right, but then you're on a month-to-month, and then they can just say get out, and there's nothing. Was she on a month-to-month?
Yes, ma'am.
Right. I take it that you were starting to feel that she was harassing you guys. And why did you feel that way?
Well, Your Honor, first of all, she's on Section 8, and they have to sign a new lease because their lease, once they leave the unit,
But her
is null
lease
and
had
void.
already expired even in that
Correct.
unit. What did you
So-
guys do? You're supposed to be giving a new lease to Section 8 every year.
Well,
Section 8 didn't catch it and kept paying you?
right, but our lease is pretty
Why
comprehensive.
did you feel that she was giving you guys a hard time?
Because I think, we tried our best, tried to accommodate her. Every time she called, we send out technicians. So we've been spending a lot of money in this
And then
unit.
at one time, you had sent notices to all of the tenants telling them, please remove your plants because we are going to be working out there. And what
Yes, Your
happened
Honor.
with that and the plaintiff?
Well, it's a standard practice. We do send out notices for construction. And the plaintiff claims that she was on vacation and never saw the notice. So the contractor had already put up the scaffolds and everything, and she had a lot of plants outside.
In little pots?
Little pots, yeah. And it clearly says, even on the original lease, that she cannot use the common areas for her personal use.
And what happened?
Apparently, the contractor tried to move one of the pot, and that pot has been sitting there for a long time. and I don't know, somehow the pot broke in the bottom of it.
And she sued you?
And she sued me. It was like some kind of a special rose, if I remember correctly, some kind of a special plant. Anyhow, it was a big show. So
Okay, what did you sue him for on the plant?
Maybe it was like $400 or $500.
The pot was $400 or
But
$500.
it wasn't. I have
$900,
pictures.
$900 for a pot?
I have pictures.
Yeah, how is it
I have
$900 for a
pictures.
pot?
Those are before.
This is the pot that was broken?
It wasn't a pot. It was my whole garden space.
Was that a common area?
There's an area that's a walkway in front of my door where I did have a couple of plants. I also have plants that extended toward the backyard, which was not a common walkway. That's a result of 2017. When we went to court, it was clearly proven that he had given me no notice at all to set up scaffolds. Not only did he maliciously have my
Try to
things
repair the walls?
moved and destroyed, but the walls have not been repaired. Since this issue happened in May 2017, which was the original issue, it has pretty much leaked again, which started in January.
Okay, I have a question. What's going on now? What's the status of her tenancy right now?
right now, she moved upstairs. She originally sent out an email.
I want to know exactly what I am asking.
Upstairs.
What is this? No, but is she on a month-to-month still?
Yes, she
And
is.
you guys are happy with that? There's no move
Well,
to...
I honored her lease because she would not stop emailing.
Honored what lease?
Her original one.
That was for how long?
It's on a month-to-month.
Oh, that's not a lease. That's a month-to-month.
Month-to-month, yeah.
Okay. So everybody's fine. Okay.
you know, I'm
All right,
like,
so no. So now let's talk about have we talked about all the harassment and distress, or is there anything else you want to mention?
There's definitely more. So it's pertaining specifically to the 51-page lease. My main problem was the code OMC 822-600, which states that a manager is supposed to give a tenant 30 to 60 days notice with the intent to amend a lease or change the lease or increase the rent. They didn't do that.
Okay, first of all, they're not even holding you to that. You didn't sign it, and they're not evicting you, which is what I would do if I was your landlord, because you are a difficult person. And so if I was your landlord, I'd say, you know what? Life is too short to continuously get sued over pots and have all these objections. You have a legitimate complaint. There was a leak, but then it turned into an epic saga of biblical proportions that is just a headache. And so if I was a landlord, I'd be giving you notice. I'd just say, you know what? Maybe this isn't the perfect place for you. It doesn't seem to fit with your needs. That's what I would say, but that's not what he's saying. So what I need to decide is it harassment? It is not harassment for a landlord to say, here, I'd like you to sign this lease, and then you don't like the lease, and so you feel harassed. That is not what harassment is.
Multiple.
You are suing for $14.40 for your time lost, $48 at $30 an hour. What time lost? What are you referring to?
Welcome back to the People's Court. Harvey Levin here. Can a landlord say to you, you know what? At the end of your lease, you're a pain in the butt. I'm not going to renew your lease. You're out of here.
I don't think so. I think they have to do something wrong, like wreck the house or something like that.
Is that right, that the tenant has to do something wrong, or can the landlord just say, lease is up, you're out because I don't like you?
No, that's not okay.
Why? I mean, the lease is over. Don't they have a right?
As a tenant, you would have a right to sign a continuing on of a
You think so?
Yes.
We will find out about that going inside the courtroom.
The time loss is time off of work. It's time that I've had to go and drive around and looking at places. It's time with me going back and forth to the office and filling out paperwork. This was not a move that I was intending on doing.
Okay,
It entailed,
you're not entitled to that. Let's stop. So now what the real issue is, how old is this dresser?
The dresser I've had for quite some time now, at least 20 years. And there's nothing
So there's two
wrong
ways
with
to
it.
look at it. This is an antique that was purchased at Levitt's. It's an antique. It's a $3,000 antique. Or this is how old? 20 what? What'd you say?
20.
20-year-old piece of furniture.
Levitt's
What
didn't
would be
exist.
the value of that? Because Levitt's was a discount store. I remember I used to shop at Levitt's. I loved it at Levitt's.
And as far as my hours, I have everything listed here for every hour that I have accumulated. And also the images from those pictures that he's showing you, those are from 2017.
Okay, I'm done. All right, so based on everything that I've listened to, I do find that you're entitled to something, but that something isn't what you think you're entitled to. For the inconvenience of having to move, I don't want to hear anymore. For the inconvenience of having to move, for the 20-something-year-old Levitt's dresser, I am ordering the defendants to pay her $500 in damages. It is your choice what you end up doing and whether you want to continuously go to court. That is entirely up to you.
No,
I don't know. It's a sport. You go ahead.
Yeah,
all right, you go,
Your
boy.
Honor,
$500 verdict for the plaintiff.
So the plaintiff does prevail, but not nearly to the tune that she was hoping for, Ms. Shatzalan? Shatzalan. Okay, very good. $500 is the judgment against you.
Right.
You okay with that?
I'm fine, yeah.
And she's out of there?
No, she's
Not yet?
actually staying
She's
with
decided.
us.
Oh, she is going to stay.
Yeah, she's going to stay with us till either I die or she moves away. One of the
She
two.
hasn't signed the lease, that 51
No,
page
I
lease.
honor her old lease because I was getting tired of her continuous emails.
All right, sir. Well, good luck with her.
Thank you so much.
Sorry about it. All right. Ms. Crystal?
Hi.
So, you don't get $2,500 or what it was you were seeking for your
I was seeking
antique?
$6,000 just
Yes.
total for my claim.
Yes.
I'm
For
definitely.
your information, I understand a piece of furniture is not considered antique until it is at least 100 years old.
Uh-huh.
That piece of furniture from Levitt's of yours was not 100 years old.
No, but it definitely was a family heirloom, and it was something
To
that
you.
was very precious
Sure,
to me.
Sure.
Yes.
That we understand.
Yes.
Okay, so you're only going to get $500. What do you think?
Yes. Well, I'm honestly very displeased with my case, but it's totally okay. You know, he did a lot of lying and tried to cover up the neglect and lack of communication that has happened.
But you're staying there, right?
I am living there as a result of the circumstance that I've been put in. Yeah.
Okay. Well, I hope it works out for you.
It will.
Thank you very
Thank
much.
you.
Okay,
Have a good
you're
day.
welcome. Okay. Harvey?
Look, a landlord is not automatically responsible in a case like this. Once they are notified of a problem, they have a reasonable amount of time, depending on the circumstances, to get things in order.